What's good, Josh? I'm Makai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so, help me out, subscribe. Let me reach that goal. But it finally happened. Damian Lillard traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. This trade really came out of nowhere. I hadn't heard anything. There hasn't been any rumors that Dame, wanted to go to Milwaukee, that Milwaukee was even in the running for them. All I've been hearing is Miami, Toronto, Chicago. Those are the only teams that, had any reported interest and were reportedly even close to a deal. But this deal came all the way out of nowhere. Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the same team. That's something you see in 2K My Career. That's something that's just crazy to think is, a real reality now. So the trade package is Milwaukee is Damian Lillard. The Blazers get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, a 2029 unprotected first-round pick from the Bucks. And the Phoenix Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson. And this trade just makes a lot of sense on all the fronts because obviously, if you're in Milwaukee, you get Damian Lillard, one of the best point guards in the NBA, one of the best shooters in the NBA, one of the best playmakers in the NBA, one of the best scorers in the NBA. Just an elite offensive talent. He himself is an offense. So you combine that with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't see a world where you can effectively stop a Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo pick and roll. I don't see a world where that is something that you're able to really have the proper defensive coverage for. It's just insane stuff. It's just really crazy to think about those two on the same team, because now Milwaukee, there's not going to be a lineup where there's not an elite offensive player on the court. Because in the past, when Giannis has sat down, the offense doesn't always look the best, but now when Giannis sits, Dame's going to be there, and when Dame sits, Giannis is going to be out there. They're going to be a nightmare to defend for 48 minutes, and when they're out there on the court together, I just don't know how you stop it. But the Blazers, I kind of like this deal for the Blazers because they get Drew Holiday. Obviously, they're not going to keep him. They're going to look to trade him, so they can send Drew Holiday to a contender. Maybe a contender as a first-round pick and a nice prospect. Maybe they flip Drew Holiday to Miami, get Tyler Hero. Maybe they flip him to the Clippers, get some of their young guys. Maybe they flip him to Philadelphia, get some of their young guys and some picks. Who knows? I always like DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, I think he can play a little better if he had more usage. DeAndre Ayton is going to be a good big man to pair with, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons. So I think the Blazers made a good move for their future. And then they get a 2029 unprotected first-round pick. 2029 is a long ways away, so maybe by that time, Milwaukee won't be as good as they are now. Maybe that pick will have some value, but, that's really great right there. And the Phoenix Suns, the reason they traded DeAndre Ayton, I feel like it's been reported that he hasn't been happy with his role, and he hasn't been happy with what's been going on in Phoenix. So they traded for Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nas Little, and Keon Johnson. Keon Johnson is more of a prospect. I think he has some. He's really athletic, so I think he has some juice if he can, be developed correctly. And then Nasir Little, Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic, great depth pieces, and that's what Phoenix really needed. They needed pieces to come off the bench. They needed guys who were kind of proven as depth pieces. Grayson Allen is really the main guy that's proven. Yusuf Nurkic probably going to come in and start for them. So Phoenix just has a stacked bench as well now. And I just like this trade on all fronts, but obviously I like it the most for Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Bucks, they now have a guy who can run their offense, a guy who can let Giannis, being more of that big man role, being more of the, pick and roll kind of thing. Giannis doesn't have to always, be the main ball handler. And Damian Lillard is such a massive, I can't even say this enough. Damian Lillard is a massive upgrade over Drew Holiday, especially on the offensive end. But defensively, obviously, it's a downgrade, but they're going to have a great defense no matter what. Chris Middleton is a great defender. Giannis Antetokounmpo, elite rim protector, elite help defender. And then you got Brook Lopez, who's also an elite rim protector and just an elite guy on the defensive end, can also space the floor. There's just so many things that that Milwaukee can do now. And there's just so many holes that they plugged up with this one trade. Now they don't have to worry about Giannis having to create from the outside. They don't have to worry about Giannis, creating open shots for guys. Because now they have a guy who can do that and, kind of let Giannis not always have to have the ball, not always have to drive into, a crazy amount of people in the paint. Now Damian Lillard can space the floor for Giannis. He can run the pick and roll with Giannis. There's just so much stuff they can do, and this allows, Chris Middleton, who I made a video about Damian Lillard the other day about how he can do stuff and open things up for guys. Chris Middleton is going to get a lot of great looks now because with the gravity of Damian Lillard and, Giannis Antetokounmpo combined, there's going to be, a lot of single coverage for Chris Middleton. There's going to be a lot of tilted defenses for Chris Middleton to attack. Brook Lopez is going to be able to eat down low because you're going to have to send a lot of help to, contain a Dame and Giannis actions. So I just really hope that, the new coach that Milwaukee has, hope that he can, cook up a great offensive scheme, and maybe the offense won't look as stagnant as it's looked in the past. I really doubt that they're going to have a stagnant offense this year, but this is a really, really great trade. I'm glad they did this move. I'm really shocked. Like, when I saw the report come out, I was just like man, I just did not think that they were even in the running for this. But I think this kind of shores up Milwaukee as the finals favorite, if not the title favorite, because I still do think that Phoenix would have a chance to beat them, because I feel like they're the only team that can kind of match that offensive firepower. But defensively, like, as far as, you know, a balanced roster goes, defensively and offensively, Milwaukee just has the best roster right now. And it's interesting that they did this after a summer of Giannis being like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to stay. If they don't make the right moves, I'm not going to stay. So I think they did this move to kind of, you know, make sure that Giannis is going to sign long term. And Damian Lillard, he's, you know, all summer he was saying, if it's not Miami, I'm not going. If it's anywhere else, I won't report. You know, yada, yada. Not him saying that personally, but like people saying that on his behalf, reports coming out saying that. So I just think that this is a really ideal situation for Damian Lillard to, you know, go ahead and get his first ring. And if he's not happy with this, I don't know where else he would be happy. I think, you know, when you're playing with a guy like Giannis, you know, the kind of outside noise goes out the window. So I think he's going to be able to put his head down, go get him a ring this year, and just play great basketball next to one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And I just really like how they just got the perfect guy to, you know, combine with Giannis. And, you know, Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they've said in the past, yeah, I would love to play with him. I would love to play with him. They both mentioned each other in the past as guys that they would eventually like to link up with. And I just really, you know, can't wait to see this from, you know, a basketball perspective. It's really rare that you get to see two top 10 guys essentially in their primes link up like this. And, you know, the only question I have about Milwaukee's roster right now is probably the depth. But when you have guys who can just run offenses like that, when you have a guy who can carry an offense like Dame and like Giannis can, the depth doesn't really matter like that. But they still have, you know, some solid depth pieces. Jay Crowder, hopefully he can have a bounce back season. But they've got, you know, Bobby Portis. They've got, you know, some solid guys on the bench. So, you know, I just really like what they've done here. I think they've done a great job here. I don't think they gave up, you know, too much. Like Drew Holiday, a first-round pick, Grayson Allen. It's really nice that they made this a 3-team deal so they, you know, wouldn't get fleeced. But I really like this deal for all the parties involved, and I really think that this is one of the best deals that could have been made, to be honest. So yeah, man, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's an insane pick and roll to guard. There's just so many things you can run, you know, with that. And Damian Lillard is a really great passer. You know, he's really known for his scoring, but he's a guy who's been averaging 7-8 assists, you know, for the last couple of years. So he's going to be able to get Giannis a lot of the easy looks, and he's going to make life a lot easier than it has been before for Giannis. And, you know, likewise with Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton, Jay Crowder, like he's going to make life easier offensively for all of those guys. And this is going to be a nightmare. I'm really curious to see what defenses throw at them. Do you, like, you know, kind of blitz Damian Lillard and hope that the guy on the backside can come and just kind of stick Giannis and, you know, tag Giannis and make sure he doesn't get the ball? Are you gonna send multiple guys to Giannis to make sure he doesn't get it on the roll and hope that you can guard Damian Lillard in single coverage? You know, there's just so many things that can be thrown out there, but it's just gonna be a really, really crazy thing to stop. And I would be very, very shocked if the Milwaukee Bucks did not win a championship this season. But yeah, man, if you stayed in this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.